So when it comes to rendering, V-Ray stands out as a professional 3D rendering engine developed by the folks at Chaos, and this is used by artists, designers, and studios worldwide to create photorealistic images and animation. And recently, we talked about V-Ray 7 being in beta, and it's interesting to see that V-Ray version 7 has been released and is fully available for production use. Interestingly, V-Ray has been updated to version 7.1, and this is not just an upgrade, but more of a game changer, especially for Blender users, as V-Ray version 7.1 empowers creators to render faster and create stunning realism. And so today we're going to simply take a look at how this works and how you can get started with it. And with that said, let's dive right into it. So first things first, you need to go over to the link in the description that will bring you right here where you'll be able to download V-Ray. So you can choose to try it or purchase V-Ray. In this case, we would like to download V-Ray for Blender, so we're simply going to specify that, and we would like to download this for version 4.5. Now if you like to download for other versions of Blender, you can also go ahead and select those. Now once you have this ready, you can now click on download to start downloading V-Ray for Blender. And once this is downloaded and installed, for you to have it active in Blender, all you need to do is to fire up Blender, go over to Edit, go over to Preference and search for V-Ray within the add-on section. You need to turn on the checkbox to enable this, click on the burger menu and save your preference. You can close the preference window and go over to your rendering engines and change that from Eevee to V-Ray. And doing that automatically activates your V-Ray for Blender. And right here, you can select the V-Ray engine you would like to work with. If you like to work with CPU or GPU, you can easily select them from here, and you would notice that the settings are totally different. At the same time, if you simply go all the way down to where you have your render layers, you can actually turn on the denoise render channel, so just in case you like to render this out, you'll be able to use it. There's of course a couple of other channels and also stuff that you can play with right here, which you might be needing when you're trying to do compositing with these channels later. You'd also notice that we've got a V-Ray menu, which you can simply use to access the Chaos Cosmos, the cameras, the light, and geometry. And of course, a brand new tool which is currently available for V-Ray version 7.1. And for sure, if you like to work with the V-Ray frame buffer, you can also have access to that right here. And because of the tight integration that V-Ray has with Blender, you can simply turn on the viewport rendering to actually see your renders. You might want to consider taking a look at the lighting, as the default lighting in Blender, as good as it is, may not properly represent what you would like to get with V-Ray. And so if we simply go over to Add menu, we can now access all of the lights that exist with V-Ray, and there are a ton of them. One basic key thing that you would find, especially with lights, is you do have your intensity, the color, and temperature. And the temperature feature is one thing that has just been added in Blender 4.5. But in V-Ray, this has already existed even when we talked about the beta. At the same time, you can increase or reduce the radius of a specific light. You can also play with the unit. So depending on the unit you like to work with, you can do that. You can play with the directional and directional strength. Every light has its own options, and there's also the include and exclude feature. Now, before we move on, let's look at several other lights that exist here. So we have the dome light, and this is really good for those who are thinking about creating a HDRI-like kind of lighting, as this is definitely meant for that. And if you're into mesh lighting, there's also the mesh lighting feature that exists here. So you can simply turn any object to light, and that is pretty cool. Some other cool lighting features that exist here includes the IES light. For those who have IES profile lights, you can go ahead and work with that. We've got the V-Ray sun and sky. And this is really good for exterior renders, because with this, you can simply play with the sky models that exist, and you can also throw in clouds. So maybe you would like to have clouds in your scene. This would come in handy, as you can use this to control and add clouds in your scene. Overall, the lighting tools that exist with V-Ray makes it easier for you to be able to light literally anything and control them how you want. Interestingly, V-Ray also ships with light linking, and this would allow you to include or exclude certain objects that will be affected by light in your scene. And so if you like to include an object, all you need to do is to go over to the include section, and you can click on the eyedropper, select the object on your viewport, and that will receive either illuminations or shadows or both. And if you like to exclude certain objects, you can also go ahead and do that. And with this feature, you can control the lighting of your scene easily by simply selecting what object or collections need to be lit during your rendering. Something else which is now available with V-Ray version 7.1 is conversion of materials. At this point, you can now easily convert your Cycles materials to V-Ray, and all of this happens with a single click. So you can choose to convert just one material, or you can simply convert all of the materials that exist within your scene from Cycles material to V-Ray. And this makes it super easy and also makes it super possible for creators to work with V-Ray materials and take full advantage of all of the features and settings that comes with it. Another interesting feature which is currently available with V-Ray version 7.1 is working with geometry nodes, as you can now simply render complex procedural setup directly in V-Ray without baking out the geometry. And this makes it easy for you to procedurally model and also create stuff while working with V-Ray. And for those that are thinking about working with assets, there is now an expanded Cosmos library set of assets which is currently available for Blender creators. So to access this is pretty simple. All you need to do is go over to the V-Ray menu, go all the way down to where you have the Chaos Cosmos and click on the Cosmos browser. Now within the browser, you would notice that you've got models, materials, HDRIs, and also collections. So depending on what you're trying to work with, you do have access to all of them. And currently you have over 9,000 assets that you can work with and start creating. And these are across several categories, from furniture to vegetation, vehicle, people, architecture, and animals. There's also a ton of materials that is currently available with this, which you can absolutely work with. The same thing can also be said for the HDRIs. So just in case you don't want to play with the dome, you just want the HDRI to light your scene easily and quickly, you can actually rely on this to get things going for you. And to any of these that you like to download, whether it's the materials or the HDRI, even the collections, or possibly there are 3D models you like to get, for you to be able to download any of these, simply hover on any of them and click on the download button. And so this is going to go through, download the model, and you can simply export that into your viewport. These assets are super lightweight on the viewport, so you can load in as many of them as you want. And one cool thing is when rendering, you get high quality renders, and this is pretty interesting. And once you're done, you can simply hit the render button and get this done with. Some other cool feature available with V-Ray version 7.1 is the OpenPBR support, as this now integrates the open standardized shading workflow across applications. So if you do have a 3D model that has OpenPBR, you can now simply work with this right inside of Blender by simply using V-Ray. And with that said, let's talk about the VFB, which is the V-Ray frame buffer. And for the V-Ray frame buffer, if you like to turn on denoising, you can click on this drop down and enable the denoiser. And you can simply select between all of the denoisers that are currently available right here for you to be able to have your denoising happening in real time. Now to get things going, you need to click on the Start Interactive Render button, and this would initiate the V-Ray frame buffer. Now within the V-Ray frame buffer, you can do a couple of things. And this includes adding several layers and also effects to your scene. So for example, if you would like to add a bit of hue and saturation, you can actually go ahead and add that, play with the parameters how you want. And you'd also notice that the denoiser, which is the button that we just turned on, is also available right here. So we can choose to turn this off and you can see what the result looks like. And if we turn this back on, you can see what the denoiser is doing. You can also play with the opacity of each layer to get the desired result. So you can add as many layers as you want and tweak them to get the exact kind of effect that you're going for. So in this case, you can choose to throw in a vignette, a hue and saturation, color balance, and so on. And one cool thing is because this is the interactive render preview, once you make any change right here, all of the layer effect and tweaks that you've made already gets applied to your new renders automatically. And for sure, if you're thinking about changing the opacity of any of these, you can easily do that by going right here where you have your blending option and you can dial that down. And if we like to crank this all the way up, we can simply type in the number 1 to crank this up. We can also choose to play with the blending options of all of the layers that exist right here to create some very interesting effects. And for tools like Vignette, there's also the vignetting tool that you can use to actually control both the size and also the feathering of the vignette that you're working on. And this is pretty impressive. Now on that note, if you're working with color, you can now throw in the filmic tone map. Now within the filmic tone map, you can play with the type and also the tone mapping space. At the same time, you can simply go ahead and play with the display color space, and you can switch between the OCIO, ICC, and gamma to see the result that best fits what you're creating. You can proceed to render, or you can also go ahead to preview different elements that actually makes up your render. You can proceed to render, or you can simply go ahead and check out all of the channels that makes up your render. Now, something else which is also super interesting in terms of channels is the render layers. So if you simply go over to where you have your view layer, you would notice that we have render channels, and you can see that we have the denoiser turned on. We can actually go over here and turn on so many other ones. So if we like to have all of this active, we can simply go ahead and have that. And this is going to come in very handy, especially if you're into compositing. Something else which is also super cool is the light mix. We can also choose to render this out as well. And so once we come through and set all of this, we can now go ahead, open up the frame buffer, which is the interactive renderer, and this is going to proceed to render everything. And now that we have this rendered, you can simply come through and check out all of those channels that we turned on. So if you like to see the albedo, you can see that. If you like to see the reflections, you can also see that. And of course, if you like to see any of the other ones that exist here, you can go ahead and check them out. More so, within the source light mix, we can mix all of the lights that exist. So if we like to change the color of one of those lights, we can do that. And you can notice that this happens after you're done rendering. So you can change the colors of the light post-rendering. Furthermore, you can turn off the light or turn the individual ones to see how they influence the render. And once you're done, you can simply hit the save button to save up your renders. And this is super amazing. It's also worth mentioning that within the rendering engine section where you get to select V-Ray, you can also choose to select V-Ray for GPU and also V-Ray for CPU. So if you like to use the V-Ray for GPU, you can simply go ahead and work with that. And you can also use RTX or you can leave it as CUDA. It's also advisable to explore with the denoiser that works alongside with those, as this will greatly improve how you get your renders done faster and also how your denoiser behaves when you're rendering. And this can also be seen within the viewport as well. One other cool feature, which I think a lot of creators would love, is the physical camera. So in certain cases, you might want to use a proper camera, or should I say a physical camera inside of Blender, and V-Ray has you covered. To achieve that, all you need to do is to have your camera selected, go over to the camera properties, and from there you can simply select the type of camera that you like to work with, a physical camera or dome camera. Now if you're working with a physical camera, there's a couple of settings that you can now simply tweak, which do not exist by default with the camera settings that comes with Blender. So you can use the physical camera to make setting changes to the sensors and lens, color and exposure, tilt and shift, distortion, and so on. And this gives greater flexibility on how you get to frame your scenes and actually work with them inside of Blender. So if you're thinking about working with a physical camera and getting that high professional grade rendering, then you can simply rely on V-Ray to get that covered. So this is it. Tons of features and cool stuff are currently available for creators, and you can simply go ahead and start exploring V-Ray version 7.1 for Blender and take full advantage of all of the cool features that these currently offers. Tell me what you guys think about this one in the comment section, and of course a huge shout out to the folks at Chaos for making this possible. And until I see you guys in the next one, peace.